Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Camppatton Family Compound and Rebel Canner Monday Night Fireside Chat. Tonight's topic is canning different types of water. All right, how's everybody doing out there? So we got Tammy at Rebel Canners over here and Mark from Mad Chick Acres and Chef Tech down below. And let me go over to the comments here and go up to the top. All right, so first one into this evening was Chipper66, and he's got his famous lurking emojis up there. Then Sumi came in. And, question, why is the description so hard to read? Let me check, see what it's showing over here on mine. Description. It looks fine to me over there on mine. It may be the way the platform is displaying it on your one.
Could have dropped it down to 320p. So
yeah, that too. Yeah, check your resolution of what's coming through on you too. All right, after Sumi came in, Mother Earth Garden Club. Ooh, having rain and thunder and lightning storms where she's at. Walt Rogers says, howdy. Aidan is here from across the pond. I think he's back across the pond. He may still be here in the States. Troop 1351. Been a member for 20 months, Staff Sergeant's boot camp. And see, Brenda Hunt's here. Diana 2's here. Walt says it's time to go down and water the horses. And everyone's checking, and Mark's bouncing around, double dipping on both channels. Yeah, they're famous, Chipper. And Diane too also went over to your side and checked in on your side too. She's double dipping too.
Perfect. Thank you.
It's black letter on a dark gray background. Oh, if you have yours in the different platforms as like Microsoft, Chrome, and those are pushing out the dark version, and it's make things, sometimes it doesn't transpose the black ones, the black lettering to white, and so when it gets the dark thing, it really screws stuff up.
Yeah, my iPad does that too. Sometimes it changes all the chat goes into like dark gray mode because it thinks it's nighttime.
Yeah. I had to go to my settings and I'd set it no, disable. I went into something, found a disable on the dark black on the dark, and marked it as original only. So, Little Lone Prepper just came in. So, so we're talking about canning different types of water. Before we get to talk about the canning the water, I thought it would be nice to explore some of the waters, and I got some stuff here to show. I got two slides to show after the thumbnail here. So this one came up, and this was from one trying to talk about healthy waters. Mineral waters. Some mineral waters are supposed to be healthy for you. Some sparkling waters are supposed to be healthy for you. Some distilled waters, depend how distilled it is. Some infused ones, and then there's that myth going around, much like the myth from 30, 40 years ago about hydrogenated vegetable oils being real healthy for you. Same thing about the alkaline water. It's not. So, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So I put together my own list here. Mineral water, spring water. You can have spring water that is lightly mineral. You can have spring water that is heavily mineral. You can have some spring water that is heavily sulfur.
Ooh, yes.
You can have well water that's heavily sulfured.
Ooh, sulfur water. That's got to be good for you.
Actually, that's an indicator that you have some bacteria in your well that needs to be cleaned or it will not necessarily harm you, but it is definitely a sign you need to get your well tested.
Yeah. Actually, we years ago, before I got married, on my parents' place, they had a well, and they'd stopped using the well, and because they were on city water, they had city water put in, and they're using the well to water the horses, the cows, the garden, everything else. And when the water rates went through the roof back in the early 80s, we switched over to it, and it smelled real sulfury, and we had to test it and go, no, all the wells in like a 50-mile radius are now coming up with a lot of sulfur from the aquifer had changed. So it was actually sulfur water, which made it kind of interesting when you're taking a nice hot steamy shower.
No.
Everyone used to joke about, hey, you pay high dollar for this at a resort.
Yes.
All right. Just keep checking it out. Okay. So, and you can have your minerals can be all over the chart. Is it high in iron? Is it high in sulfur? Of course. Is it high in
calcium,
magnesium, zinc, whatever? Yeah, whatever type of minerals it is. So your mineral spring waters can be all over the spectrum. Plus, they can also be one of the two last ones on there. They can be acidic or they can be alkaline as well. And we're going to get to acidic and alkaline at the end here. Okay, reverse osmosis is everyone's talking, oh, reverse osmosis is so great. It removes all the stuff from it and everything else. Problem is, water, pure H2O is not stable. It wants to bond with something. And usually it's minerals. And if you drink pure reverse osmosis water that has been run through a mineralizer, it wants minerals. So what's it going to do? It gets into your bloodstream and it starts pulling iron from your blood, starts pulling calcium from your body. And so reverse osmosis, unless you have installed the mineralizer in it, like the space station did, it's not a good thing. Filtered water. Filtered water can cure a lot of ills in water, depending on the filters. There are filters to remove chlorine. There are filters to remove fluoride. There are filters to remove nitrates and nitrites. There are filters to remove just about everything besides going reverse osmosis. And so, depending on your water, you may need to get filters for it. Interesting thing up here is traveling from here to California and back, I have to filter my water up here. Otherwise, Mother Nature is saying, oh, let me introduce you to Montezuma.
Not an introduction I want to make.
Yeah. And but it takes about 4, 5, 6 weeks to get your body to get used to the water here. It is very alkali water. And when I was driving back and forth, it's like, no, forget this. I just got a nice countertop water filter, put it on there, got a water softener, put it on so it softens the water. And it helps up quite a bit there. And it also removes, the water filter removes bacteria and stuff down to 0.02 microns. So that's always good. Distilled water, like reverse osmosis, can be bad for you. However, there's distilled water. You have the proper distiller. You can play with how it does it and what it does. Some of them it just heats it, turns it to steam, and runs it through just like you were going to run some moonshine through, and that takes out a lot of the minerals out of it as well. So you got to almost have another mineral stone thing in it too before you drink it. In 1970, I'm thinking here, maybe it was 1980. Don't try and do my math here. I was up in Dickinson, North Dakota. Dickinson, North Dakota at the time was known as the most treated water in the United States. I had one glass and was in the hospital from all the chemicals that was in it. There was a person there in town that was a dental assistant. She had a distiller at home, and she distilled water for me, but she had a mineralizer to run it through because her family was doing the same thing. And so she gave me a gallon or two of water a day for me to have to drink and stuff. And it was, it basically got me through the time I was there. All right, Lee, Cold War preppers in the house. All right, but distilled water can be used for medical purposes, chemical, as a chemist, for a chemist, be used by dentists, can be used by different professions. So if you have one of those professions in your group, you may want to have some distilled water for them to use. Oxygenated water, or basically it's like dihydrogenated dioxide. It's got an extra oxygen on it, so they do it. So that's supposed to be, healthy for some people. But it's supposed to, work good for certain fish and stuff, freshwater fish, that is. Then there's hydrogenated water, which some of the molecules have, and instead of being dihydrogenated oxide, it's trihydrogenated oxide. So, and it's they use it for scientific stuff, and there's certain claims that it is supposed to be healthy for you to have a little trihydrogenated oxide.
Yeah. Apparently, a word that I just tried typing in on my iPad, it's spelt with the letter K, I, and then it means you're dead. It will not filter through because I put it through. I'm like, why didn't my comment go through? I did it again on another page. Didn't go through. So, yeah, I won't use that word anymore.
Yeah.
That's why I put in dihydrogen monoxide will render your body inert if you can't swim.
Yeah. Or float.
Or float or something. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So softened water. I mentioned we have a water softener. It removes calcium, iron, and other minerals from the water so it doesn't destroy the plumbing of the house.
Actually, a water softener will remove calcium, maybe some magnesium, and iron if you're using a different kind of salt. That's all.
Yeah.
All it does. No, it doesn't remove any other minerals. And it's a misconception that if you're on a low sodium diet, you shouldn't have a water softener. Well, if your water softener is working properly, you don't wind up with sodium in your water. I can explain how a softener works, but we'll leave that for another video.
Yeah, basically, you got these.
It's resin.
Ionized plastic bead or resin beads that attract either the iron and or the calcium and or the magnesium out of the water. And then the salt they make a saltwater solution. When it purges it and it runs saltwater, it bypasses the chamber that has the beads in it and runs the saltwater through it, which causes the resin to release the minerals, and it flushes it out and
recharges it to a negative ion, and then we'll do it again. So if your softener's not working right and your water tastes salty, well, your softener's not working right. Get somebody to fix your softener.
Yeah, or maybe time just to get a new one.
Right.
All right, hard water. There's different types of hard water. There's, like the water here we have here with all the calcium. I froze. The water we have here has a lot of calcium and iron, and so it's hard water, and we got to soften it up. But then there's extra hard water, which they use to make those big funny mushroom clouds in the sky.
Yeah.
Part of that scientific program.
I don't think you want to try to can that though.
No.
You're on mute there, Tammy. Tammy.
I'm not going to recommend you can that kind of water.
Yeah,
Just-
no.
Yeah. Not unless you have a scientist that can use it properly.
And maybe lead containers.
Yeah.
Thick lead containers.
And see, so tap water, of course, tap water varies like you would not believe. Depends on where you are in the country, what type of tap water supply you have for your tap. Are you on a well, or are you on city water? Are you on county water? Whatever type, if it's a municipality or water of some sort, or your own well, it's going to vary. Just municipality to municipality.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Demi.
We had this debate today. We like fountain pop. I know it's not good for us. Yes, it's leaching all of the wonderful minerals out of our bones. We know this. But we recently moved, and the local soda pop machine does not taste like the soda pop machine where we came from. And I tried to explain to my son today that different places have different water, and that affects the taste of fountain pop.
And if they filter it or not. Yep.
One was city water, one is country water. It's not even the same animal. And he was like, really? That'll affect. And then, like, in the town I was in before, we always went to the same gas station for our fountain pop. I watched them clean. The one was on city water. The one that was on well water, a mile and a half down the road outside of city limits, I watched them clean the filter for that machine where the water went in to the fountain pop machine, and I will never drink pop there.
You're not supposed to clean filters. You're supposed to throw them out and get a new one. I changed filters.
Tubing. This was the tubing.
Oh yeah. I change filters all the time, and I always dump the filter, especially on city water, which is 99% of the people I deal with. I dump the water out, which comes from now the inside of the filter where all that crap was. Oh, the things that come out of there, it's like, yeah, good thing you're filtering it, but it's like, really? This is in your water? You're kidding me.
It was so clogged, nothing could come out of it.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. Again.
Yeah, so
you can taste the difference in waters.
Yeah. And then some tap water is just poisonous.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna name.
Only 3 hours from Flint.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna name. I was just gonna allude to it. Say, that city that's named after the thing you used to start fire.
Yeah, no, it's right down the road. The 3 hours and south and east and.
But don't worry. The quantity of whatever's in your water is within the limits of what they allow in that town.
Nah.
No, it wasn't. It was
no. I know that. I have long stories, but I'm not going to go there right now.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a horrible thing, and that should never happen in any city anywhere in America. Enough said.
Yeah. Now the next two are ones you can can your spring water. You can if you want, or your mineral water. You have something like that, and you really like it. If you've done reverse osmosis to remove all the nastiness out of it, and you run it through a mineral stones to bring it back to a balanced water, you can can that. You can filter your tap water or your well water and get it nice and clean. So it's and make sure you test. Okay, yeah, this is perfect. I want to can this, and can that as well. The next two on the list here. Saline and sterile are ones you probably want to can when you can for medical purposes.
Well, when you
take it away, Tammy.
Yeah, when you can water, you are sterilizing it. All yours, Tammy.
Thank you. So yes, by canning water, if you do it long enough, you are sterilizing it. Saline, you want to take non-iodized salt, and you want 1 teaspoon per pint, and that will give you the right dilution to use it for either an eye wash or a wound wash in the event of an emergency. I'm not recommending that you do that on a regular basis, but in the event of an emergency, you would have that formula available to you that you could do that and have those things available. I always throw extra water in. I like to run my canner full. If I don't have a full canner, I will run just plain water and sterilize it with whatever I'm canning so that I have some on my shelf for emergency situations.
So, Tammy, can I put something else in that jar with the water I'm sterilizing that would help clean things?
Yes, you could put some gauze in there if you wanted wet saline-soaked gauze, or you could even use a washcloth, a clean washcloth, a new one. You could put that in there and sterilize it, or not. I'm not going to use the word sterile because I hate that. Sanitize it in your canner. But yes, you would need it to hit 15 pounds of pressure, no matter what your altitude is, and you would need at least 21 minutes of that pressure time.
So if I have like a cabin in the middle of the woods, 100 miles from nowhere, first aid kit, would it be beneficial to have a couple wide mouth plain jars with some rags in there, some kind of a clean sterile cloth in water that was canned, so the water was now inert of bacteria?
Yes, and again, you would want that to be at least 15 pounds of pressure for 21 minutes.
Gotcha.
Cool. Now, distilled water. Like I said, you want to can distilled water for certain purposes. And one of the things that when I was growing up, they always talked about, this is in the 60s and the 50s, they always talked about, for your battery for your car, when you top it off, you don't want to use tap water, you want to use distilled water.
Yeah, no minerals.
Because it's got the minerals.
Yep. So the difference between distilled water and RO water, really there's not much difference. A little bit, not much. You distill it, you're boiling it, so only the H2O boils off, recondenses, turns back to H2O or dihydrogen monoxide. And same with RO, it filters it out instead of boiling it out. So they're pretty much the same. I'm sure there's some minor differences and a bunch of disputes about that, but really there's not much difference between it.
I'm going back here and checking the chat. I did see our treasured homestead came in on your side, Tammy.
Hi.
And I'm just trying to look at some of these. All right. Sumi says I might actually go collect some lake water to can. Interesting thing about lake water and stream water. The main scout camp for the council back in California was Camp Wolfboro. And everyone claimed, this is the greatest water. It comes off Upper Falls and it comes through the rapids and it's really great. It's, all this action has killed all the bacteria in it.
Yeah, except for the 2 dead deer up in the top of the stream before it went down. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
I would be more worried.
More along the line of the campground that's a mile and a half upstream where people are washing their feet and swimming in it. And
even I would be less afraid of all of the things you mentioned, and I would be more concerned with whether there is a beaver dam anywhere upstream that would cause I don't want to say trichinosis, and that's not right. But that can cause you to be very, very ill, very, very fast.
Some kind of bacterial infection you don't want in your human body.
Yeah, that is one of the things that will cut a camping trip short for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah. And what's the other one? What's the other thing they always talk about when you're camping? Giardia or something like that?
That's it. That's the one I was trying to think of. Not trichinosis. Yeah. That's in pork. Giardia. Yeah. That's what beavers carry, Giardia. So if there's a beaver upstream swimming, beaver fever. Yeah, you're not. That is going to be the worst case scenario. So that's why I always take one of those little Sawyer filters the small Sawyer and carry it with me when I go camping or hiking, because I don't always know where there's been,
What's so funny about this? What's funny about Camp Wolfboro is that most of the campers don't know. Oh, geez, what was it, about 45 years ago? They were told to install a filtration system on the line where they pull from the stream before it gets to their storage tower. And at the end of the season, when they're closing down, they are told to one of the things, because they are leasing the property from the National Forest Service, they are told to dump a couple of gallons of bleach into that tank and make sure it's mixed up, and then run it out through all the lines of the camp before they shut down so it kills everything. And the first thing in the spring, what do? They pour a couple gallons of bleach in there, fill it up, and run it again.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, Happy Mac came in on your side.
Hello. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. The last two, acidic and alkaline. pH 7 is in the middle. The number goes down, it becomes acidic. The numbers go up, it becomes alkaline. There is this thing out there of, oh, you need to drink alkaline water because that's good to bring your body back into balance. And I've seen several scientists and doctors say, no.
Yeah. Do your own research.
You do your own research, but what is your stomach full of?
Acid.
Yes, and if you drink alkaline water, what does that do to the acid in your stomach?
It neutralizes it, and that's not good for your stomach. It's built to be an acid pump.
Yes, and if it's neutral, it can't digest the food you're putting in there, which means after it gets forced out of your stomach into your intestines. Yeah, so yeah, do not drink the alkaline water. It's is another myth, like you need to stop eating the fats from animals and stuff, lard and tallow. You need to use this hydrogenated vegetable oil, seed oil stuff, because it's healthy for you, because it's low in polyunsaturates and all this other baloney.
But they don't tell you they hydrogenate it because they don't want you to taste how rancid it is and rotten before,
Yeah. If you ever want to see, there are several reels on Facebook about different guys posting it. Some of the footage is the same of the scientific footage of how they make canola oil. I about puked when I was watching that. But yeah, it's, and that same thing goes for all. Hey, Shenanigans is in the house. Woo! All right. Now the only time you might want to can some alkaline water or an acidic water is once again in your survival group, whatever you have, a doctor or a scientist that would need to use that stuff in an emergency. So you need to check your groups to find out if there's anybody that needs to have some acidic or alkaline water. And Glenn's here. How to garden. Okay, hang on. I'm going to throw up what Sumi put out here.
Exactly, Sumi. Yes.
Yeah.
And it can also cause your body to overproduce acid, which will then cause ulceration.
Yeah, because it's saying, oh, okay, we don't have any, we don't have enough acid, and yeah. And that didn't, that makes sense for something that someone else told me years ago, and it never really clicked until I read about the alkali water. Is someone says, oh yeah, the
oh, little thunder here. Sorry about that.
Whoa! We've had a storm rolling through. I'm like, was that here?
was the soda biscuits. If the soda is not neutralized by the time you eat it, it can cause problems for your stomach. This is what I was told years and years ago. And I never know. They didn't explain why. They didn't know why. They just knew that if you ate soda biscuits that didn't had too much soda in it, you'd have a tummy ache later on. And
you mean those soda biscuits I opened from that rations can made in 1952 could have like hurt me?
I'm not talking about the soda biscuit recipe from back in the 1800s.
Ah, gotcha.
Where they didn't balance out the ingredients right, so that the baking soda was all used up in the cooking process, in making the biscuits rise. So.
So just a fun fact, most well water, if you have lime scale buildup or buildup in your toilet, sinks and stuff like that, my dog is barking, is alkaline because you use an acid to get rid of it, vinegar, lime away, whatever. So there you are drinking most of the time slightly alkaline water. It's just not hydrogenated. It's just natural alkalinity from your lime scale, the scale buildup, the magnesium and calcium.
All right, we got a good question here, Tammy. Here's the question from Joan. Is there a safe way to use a pressure canner outside if you don't have a stove?
I have used my pressure canner on a wood campfire. You have to know how to use your coals. You have to have space. So you have to be able to move your canner off the coals and back on to help regulate. You have to have a good bed of coals that's going to burn evenly. And you have to have additional coals you can add on to keep it going at the right pressure. It can be done. It's not easy. You need to have good campfire cooking skills before you ever attempt it. And again, the number one thing you can do is make sure that you have a way to swing that off on that grill, off away from the fire, because you can always say, okay, I'm done, I stop, if anytime you feel unsafe. Yeah. So those are the things. I mean, I wouldn't put it right down set it on a bed of coals because you can't get it up and out of there. But if you have a grill that you can, move things, a swinging grill, like I've shown in some of my videos, you can do that. You might.
Other thing I would think about, I've seen some really cool ones. In fact, my mother-in-law, who's here with my wife, they have a big, huge brick barbecue, and the grill is on a crank, so you can raise that grill up and down and set. That works good because I also I need to raise it up a half an inch, a quarter inch more. Okay, there we go. The needle's staying right where it's supposed to stay.
Yeah. The good news is though, if you need to maintain 10 psi, if your pressure goes up to 14, yes, lower the heat a little bit or move it away. But you don't have to start over again. If it drops below 10, then you're screwed. And my dog's barking again. Oh, my God.
And again, it's just the key to that would be to know how to bank your coals, have some extra coals in reserve to add to it, and have a way of raking some coals away if you need to. And again, it's campfire cooking 101, but it's a lost skill that a lot of us don't have anymore. So
there are some really cool videos though here on YouTube from the International Dutch Oven Society, the Chuck Wagon, what's it called? The Chuck Wagon competition, whatever it is. And these guys put out videos, and these guys, these are some good guys, and they're out there and they're cooking big meals on a big fire ring, and they have their big fire off to the side. And as it turns from flames down to hot coals, they move it over a little bit closer. And these guys, they're working it. It's fun watching these guys work. And they're cooking on skillets. They're cooking on Dutch ovens, all different sizes of them. They're cooking. They got pots and kettles going and everything else. And watch some of those guys, and then practice that in your backyard. Oh, we're going to have a Dutch oven treat tonight. We're going to do monkey bread in Dutch oven, or a cobbler in Dutch oven, and practice that. And you will learn the first time you burn something a little bit or scorch it. Now, you don't kill it, but you kind of scorch a little bit. Okay, I need to do something a little bit different. And
yeah. And also, there's a big thing about knowing your wood. And I get a lot of flack when I go and I'm the wilderness cook and nurse because I insist on using majority oak. I won't cook on pine. And there's some very good reasons for that. It's easier to regulate and keep the heat, even if you're using the same kind of wood. And pine burns fast and hot and it's gone. Oak burns slower and more even. And so you have to know what kind of wood you're cooking with too. That's another big factor.
Yeah, we used to get from my dad bought a wood business from a friend of ours that was totally retired. He was retired and he was retiring from the wood business. And my dad bought his truck and stuff, and went up, started doing the hauls and stuff. So he'd go up to the walnut orchards up around Oroville in California there, and we could always tell when we went from the English walnut to the black walnut.
Mm-hmm.
The wood was split. You could see you could tell by just looking at the wood, but where they kind of mixed where the grafting was and stuff. Sometimes you didn't realize you were getting it, and that there'll be like a little knot there, and it would burn a little bit faster like the English walnut, but it would burn hotter like the black walnut.
Yep.
And sometimes he had the fire in the fireplace going, and next thing you know, my mom's opening all the windows, and we're all there. I didn't know it was August. I thought it was December.
Yeah. Yeah. But it can be done. And there's a lot of things that you can do water bath outside. That's a lot, easier to start with.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's the thing is, I don't want to scare anybody off here, but hey, how do the Amish and Mennonites do it? They water bath everything.
And Sumi, if you have like a side burner like that, make sure you're counterbalancing it. So you have to make sure that it doesn't tip over, because sometimes they don't. Oh, thank you. They don't have a good balance.
Yeah,
so make sure that you're counterbalancing.
Side burner on one side, nothing on the other. You put a heavy pot on the other side full of water, you're gonna flip your grill over.
Yeah. So a few bricks or a couple cinder blocks on the other side might be, while you're doing that canny, might be beneficial.
Or if you have one of those monstrosity ones that have they're like 8 foot long and have everything on, has the smoker, has the closed, has the open pit and everything else on it. All right, just to let you know, the best life is on your side, Tammy.
Hello, thank you.
Yeah, Glenn. Black walnut is hard to work with in carpentry. However, I have seen some amazing things made, like out of it for bowls and stuff like that. Now, they get hold of the right thing, and the woodworkers are amazing with it. But yeah, well,
you just got to watch
on your side too.
You just got to watch with black walnut when you're cutting it with a saw. The dust, the fine particulate in the dust is not good for you. No dust is good for you, but black walnut can be exceptionally bad for you.
It has the jugalones, and I'm saying that wrong.
Yeah, it's like a carcinogenic type thing. Yeah.
I just remembered I forgot one type of water. Fortunately, I have some right here.
Oh, I have a jar of that, but it's not that brand.
And I got a dehydrator. I'll make you more if you want it.
Well, actually, can you make me freeze-dried water?
Yeah, freeze-dried water is much better for you. It just takes a little more water to rehydrate it.
Yeah, but it's good for 40 years.
It's good forever.
It depends where it's canned, though. All
right.
Okay. Here's the thing with the turkey fryer. You have to have a regulator. If you're going to use a turkey fryer, it can get way too hot. You have to go down to your propane dealer, tell them what you want to use it for, look on the manual for your canner and make sure that it's not that high, because, and I was just corrected, there are some that I thought it might melt, that it won't melt it, but that does warp the bottom.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are other ones that I would be afraid it would melt. So you have to make sure you get a reducer. I'm sorry, I said regulator, a reducer, so that you don't go above the recommended BTUs. And your local propane dealer has those. They're under $20. I think they're, last time I checked, they were like 14 something or less. Get one of those and it would be perfect. And it's well balanced and it's designed to hold a heavy pot of water.
Hang on, I'm looking something up here right now. Okay, here we go. Here they call them heat equalizers. They used to be called diffuse. These are called
a diffuser will help, but it will not. If you crank that turkey fryer all the way up to the top, it's going to melt that diffuser.
Yeah. Most of these are like this is this looks like aluminum or thin steel. That's an this is aluminum.
Good plate steel or cast iron.
Do not buy an aluminum one. And if you want to know why, go look and see. I decided to season the aluminum, what I thought was cast iron pie irons, and we decided to season them. We put them in the fire, and we had several lumps of aluminum.
Yeah.
You do not want anything like that in aluminum. Get steel.
Yeah.
All right, we got a couple here you're gonna like. So let me open this one in a new tab, and this one in a new tab. So this here is basically it lifts it up off there. See how it lifts it up and puts more space. So it kind of lifts it farther away from the flame, so it's not so concentrated. And here's one on a stove, how they lift it up so the flame is sort of diffused by oxygen, by air, extra air getting in there, so it diffuses it that way. But this is a cast iron one, and wait a minute, it looks like it has an aluminum handle on it.
Yeah, I might not want that.
But it could be stainless steel.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Right there, removable stainless steel handle. Okay.
There you go. That would not. Okay. That would be better. Yeah. I would avoid aluminum.
Yeah.
So notice they put the picture of the pan in the middle of the stove. You put a flat diffuser or a baffle on the side of your stove, you better watch your cabinets because they're going to overheat on the edges. That happened to me with my canner. Didn't realize it. Burned the Formica on my cabinets.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what this one also does, I was hoping they were going to show an end view of it, but those lines on it are actually raised pieces of cast iron. So not only does it, when you put the pan on it, not only does the cast iron diffuse the heat below, it allows an airspace in there so the heat diffuses before it gets from the diffuser to the bottom of the pan.
That's about the best one I've seen right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not direct contact heat. It's indirect heat.
Yeah. And here's another one that has little dimples on it here.
Mm-hmm.
And here's another one over here that has a bunch of different lines on it for different sized pans. Although it does have a hole in the center. But then most of the propane things don't heat the center. They heat around the outside, heat out a little bit farther from it. So let's see what else we got here. Yeah, there's one with the hole in it. Yeah, these other ones, these other ones here, those are kind of too thin.
I grew up with one of those. My mom had one. It was a stainless steel double plate with like a hollow cavity in the middle. She used that a lot because on the cast iron, because you didn't want to burn it. It helped diffuse it. It's like a toaster.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so you guys, there's an interesting diffuser. Let me bring that one open in another tab here.
But I'm not recommending you use any of those underneath a canner.
Yeah.
Now, just have good controlled heat.
But it's like, but if you think it's like if you're using a outside propane one, also check what the BTUs are on it, because it'll say how many BTUs for this, and then you and sometimes I saw a good one that basically on the knob it listed the BTUs, so you could, as you turned it, you could tell what BTUs you were using, and so that when you want to keep under so many BTUs, you know how low to keep the flame. Fire water. Yeah, if you're going to can fire water, it's not actually canning. It's just, corking the bottle.
Yeah.
or corking the little brown jug.
Yeah. I got a great deal on a case of Jack Daniels. How do I can it? You don't. Leave it in the bottle. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
That's a good thing right there. I have one of those little cast iron cookers.
And Tiger 69 came in on your side.
Hi. Yeah, you can use a diffuser. If you have a water bath canner, look on the bottom. You shouldn't need it. And I wouldn't recommend really using it underneath a pressure canner either.
Okay, I'm just doing that again. Okay, what are the BTUs? British thermal units.
This is a measurement of heat.
Measurement of heat. So if you have something that is 50,000 BTUs and something that's 250,000 BTUs, 250,000 is going to produce a heck of a lot more heat.
Yeah, you're gonna boil that pan a whole lot faster and probably melt your aluminum.
Hang on, I'm going to get something up here. I know we're deviating a little bit from canning the water, but we want to answer questions like this as they come up, because that helps everybody. I'm looking up something here real feed burner. There we go. I went to put it in the wrong one here. Hang on. Go back over here to this one here. I know they list some here really good. All right, so BTUs here. She asked, Jonah went and asked, what is the safe BTUs for pressure canner?
It's going to depend on your make and model of your canner, who makes it. There's different ones for different companies that manufacture, and I do not have a book next to me right now that I could look it up.
It should be in your owner's manual.
Yeah. And those, if you don't have a copy of your owner's manual, they are available online. There are some in the Files Rebel Canners Facebook group. You can see them if you need them. I used to have one right next to my bed where I sit and do these videos, but I have just recently moved and I have not found where I put those, and I'm missing all of my books right now, and I'm heartbroken on my canning books.
Yeah. All right, here's something just to give you an idea of stuff here. Yeah, some of these high-powered torches. 1,200,000 BTUs, 1,500,000 BTUs, or 800,000 BTUs. They're not showing the real cheap ones, which are like. All right, this is 340,000 BTUs, 500,000 BTUs up here. So there are different ones like that.
I believe that certain canners are 1,500 BTUs, but turkey fryers can go as high as 30,000.
Hang on, I'm finding this out right now.
So,
all right, let's see. 50,000 BTUs on this one.
Yeah, see, you only want 1,500. You need a reducer.
Yeah. 54,000 BTUs. 200,000 BTUs. So yeah, there's different ones like that. Now I'm going to bring something else up here for you. Let's see. Let's just see if we can give it. Hang on.
Yeah, those camp chefs are generally about 35 to 60,000 BTUs per burner.
Yeah, and it's not saying. Here we go. This one has it. 30,000 BTUs is the top end on it, but then it does have the dial there. You can experiment and just turn it way down, and you start on the low end and work your way up.
Yeah, don't speed up the heating process on your canner because you'll siphon everything out really quick.
Yeah. Now you just start low. If it takes a little bit longer to bring it up the temperature, hey, it takes a little bit longer, but you also learn how long it takes to do it.
If you're not sure how hot your burner is, if it got up to that venting stage really quick, yeah, let it vent for a little while longer. 10 minutes isn't like, oh, it's 11 minutes. Oh my God, I'm done. No, you can let it go a lot longer if you want. That way, everything inside the jars equalizes with the temperature in the water. Then you cap it.
Okay, no. Not
What?
a lot longer because you can.
Not 20 minutes. I'm just saying.
Okay, so yeah, I would use caution with that statement. I'm not gonna endorse that statement.
Yeah.
Measure your time. Do the 10 minutes.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Is just to be safe, don't crank your outdoor propane cooker, heat stove, whatever, up high, and go full bore at it. Slow, take it a little bit slower, bringing it up. If you know how long it takes to heat it up indoors on your stove to get it up to temperature, and you're out there, and it's like, okay, I've been the same amount of time and it's not doing its thing yet. Turn the heat up a little bit more. But once and you should be able to judge it pretty good. Now, we have. Let me go back over here. Which one do we have? Expedition 2. Yeah, that's one we have. Let me bring this one up. This is the one that one of the ones we have. The Expedition 2 and the Expedition 3 Camp Chef, and I got the 2 up here. And my wife used my mom's Presto out there to cook on as a pressure cooker because it's a cooker canner. And she played with it so that it didn't go right there right away. And so, yeah, you can learn, play with it. Just canning just water, so you don't have to worry about accidentally siphoning all that and ruining the food of the food you have in there. Just practice with bottles of water to see how long it takes to get up to the time when the jiggler starts going, or the gauge hits either the 10 or the 15 pounds, whatever it is. Don't be afraid to take your time when you're learning. Learn on water, not on food.
Yes, that's a great way to do a trial run and start. You should always do that first in your canner before you ever can food. Even if you just bought a new one and you know what you're doing, it's always good to do one run of water before you do anything else.
Yeah, sorry, Mother Earth Garden Club. Yeah, every time it thunders here, my dog barks at the thunder and squeaks his ball. I apologize for that.
Well, that's okay. I just suddenly got pouring down rain and the storm was going around us. So thanks for, calling in the rain, Mark.
Hey, I just saved a ton of money on city water by letting nature water my tomatoes. I'm good.
Okay.
All right. Those of you who did not see Tammy's premiere this afternoon on keeping green beans green when you're canning them, check that video out. Very good.
Thank you.
And I actually saved it to I have folders from and I save videos too on my channel that are private, so that I can share it with my wife.
I did not realize it was going to be as dramatic as it was, and you could not. Those pictures did not do how dramatic the difference was, even with just 15 milligrams of zinc, and the difference between no zinc and 30 milligrams of zinc, and the how clear the water was and how green the green beans, the chlorophyll stayed in those green beans. I was amazed, and we're gonna keep those cans in the laboratory. They have a special storage place that they keep temperature controlled. We're going to keep those, and we're going to go back and we're going to look at those green beans in the Superb's cannery, that they test kitchen and test pantry there.
Oh, I have got to watch that one now. You put actual zinc in the water?
Yes.
Hang on a second here. Where is it here?
It was even greener in person, but we're going to keep those in the climate controlled conditions all together. And a year from now, we're going to pull those out and see if they are still, if you can still see the difference.
Were they pressure canned or water bath pickles?
They were pressure canned. Regular straight green beans, salt and zinc, green beans, hot boiling water, pressure canned for the appropriate time. You would pressure can any other green beans any other time.
Where'd you get the zinc from?
We got the zinc from the dollar store.
What?
It's the tablets that you would buy if you have a cold.
No.
Yes.
Oh, you're killing me. Okay.
And that's what, when they tin can in the factory can, that's what they do. And the FDA says you can have up to 100 parts per million in a jar.
Okay, so if those are wondering, here is the link to I'm gonna put a little thing on here. Zinc for beans. So there is the link for the green beans, and this is the link for Cold War prepper. Hey, Myra Page. On your side, Tammy.
Thank you, Myra. It was good to see you today online earlier. We watched the stream today of Congress interrogating the Secret Service agent together on another channel.
Yeah, I was watching that for a while before the video came on here.
All right, so that's the second link I just put out there is Cold War Preppers Live. Starts in about 4 or 5 minutes here. So let's get over here. What's coming up here? Tammy, are you going to go live this week?
Probably not. Let's be honest. If I do, it'll be a pop-up live Thursday at noon. But my life has been very hectic. My nephew decided on Friday to get married on Saturday. So we went and got the license, and I baked a cake, and we had a wedding within 24 hours.
Wow. Congratulations.
So, yes, he's my age, by the way. So not a spring chicken here. And I'm very happy for them. They're very happy. It was wonderful. But again, it was just a little hectic around here. So I'm hoping this week will be less hectic, but you never know. There's a lot going on.
All right, for my channel coming up here, my channels, both of them. Tomorrow I'm Gray Man Prepping. That's gray with an A. The topic is bougie prepping. And we're going to talk about people think, oh,
what mean bourgeois?
Bourgeois, whatever.
Bourgeois.
It's spelled Bougie.
Bourgeois.
Bourgeois. Okay.
Bougie. Or bougie.
All right, so those French don't know how to spell.
Bougie. I went to culinary school. I can read French. Can't speak the shit, but I can read it.
I've got
bougie prepping. Yeah.
So bourgeois. Actually, no, I think it sounds better. Bougie prepping.
Yeah, bougie prepping. Yeah.
Is that like glamping?
Yes.
Yeah.
Glamping should be a French term.
Yeah. So, but and this thing, people say, "Oh, you're just bourgeois prepping." That's not real prepping. Well, we're going to talk about that and explain. It may be bourgeois to you, but it's essential to these people because of what's going on. So we're going to talk about that. I'm not going to name names. I am going to give some. Oh, Jennifer Ocean Homestead just came in, and
Hey,
so
Jennifer.
we're going to talk about don't hold yourself to someone else's standard for your prepping. And that's also at 8 p.m. Eastern time. On Thursday, the Midnight Ride, 10 p.m. Eastern, because it's midnight down in Rio. We're going to party. And that's kind of an open chat. And we're going to be going over some news headlines, including Miss Plastic Face and Camel Toe Harris. Friday night on the Homestead, back here on Camppatton Family Compound, teaching youth the DIY mentality. So we're going to be talking about, getting today's youth to be like boomers or the upcoming alphas. Some of the alphas are Gen X squared. And then Saturday on Gray Man Prepping, dealing with youth in a difficult situation. And so dealing with them when the balloon goes up.
4-hour premiere, huh?
No, dealing with when like the balloon happens, accident happens, tornado happens, earthquake happens. Dealing with youth in a difficult situation is on Saturday on Gray Man Prepping, also at 8 o'clock. Next Monday, Tammy, you're still gone, right?
I'm going to be gone all day Monday. Sorry.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I had kind of a possible thing on here. Mark, have you freeze dried jerky before?
No, and there's a reason.
Okay, actually, that's it. Reasons why you don't freeze dry certain things. How about that?
That works.
All right. So next Monday we're talking about freeze drying, but reasons why you don't freeze dry certain things. That's always good to know, isn't it? Because someone might try to freeze dry something they shouldn't.
Yeah, like water.
All right, everyone.
Alkaline water. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Lee hasn't hit the go button. I froze. Lee hasn't hit the go button yet. His topic over on Cold War Prepper, which I put the link in for you there, is eating after SHTF. All right, everyone. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for the questions. And if you have any suggestions, email me and we will put it for either channel. Get for mine, Tammy's, Mark's channel. Mark's starting to do videos now. Send me some suggestions and who they're for, and I will filter it to them. All right, everyone.
Sweet.
Stay happy, stay safe, keep on canning, growing your own food, and we'll see you tomorrow on Gray Man Prepping, hopefully. See you around.